Page 339. 339 at the bottom.
I think I actually have the arrangement matches.
Page 339 at the bottom. Glory, hallelujah, I shall not be moved. Anchored in Jehovah, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. In His love abiding, I shall not be moved. And in Him confiding, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. Though all hell assail me, I shall not be moved. Jesus will not fail me, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. Though the tempest rages, I shall not be moved. On the rock of ages, I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Just like a tree that's planted by the waters, I shall not be moved. Page 177, G. Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are you gone? page 286. 286. Same key. I'm in the way, the bright and shining way. I'm in the glory land way. Telling the world that Jesus saves today. Yes, I'm in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. Heaven is near and the way growing clear, for I'm in the glory land way. Listen to the call, the gospel call today. Get in the glory land way. Wonders come home, oh hasten to obey and get in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. Heaven is near and the way growing clear, for I'm in the glory land way. Onward I go, rejoicing in His love. I'm in the glory land way. Soon I shall see Him in that home above. Oh, I'm in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. I'm in the glory land way. Heaven is near and the way growing clear, for I'm in the glory land way.
Like I say, it's good to be back out in the Lord's house tonight. Thankful as we sit there and we start talking about being washed in the blood, I'm thankful that I know for myself I've been washed in the blood tonight. Most important thing you can know is where your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life, and you know where you're going. Now I know we can say it's a Wednesday night, there ain't a lot of us out here, but you ain't got nothing more to be thankful for than that you know that you're His tonight. That's the most important thing you'll ever know on this side of life, on this walk that we'll go through. There'll be things you'll face that we'll never understand. But all you got to know, that all that matters, Wayne, when this thing comes to an end, is that you know that you're His.
Amen.
And you sat here and I thought about it tonight, and I thought about the whole ride out here. Well, it just seems to be real easy to say, well, it's been real hot, we're just real tired. And I sat there this afternoon and I thought, well, there might not be a whole lot down there that'll be all right. Turn on the road down here, and all I began to think was just how thankful I am that I get one more opportunity to come in and just say, Lord, thank you for saving something that's lost and as wretched as I was. You got something He tells you to do now, you ought to do it. It don't matter who's here. We're all gathered out in the Lord's house tonight. You came to do something because you was wondering if this one would be here or that one would be here. You came to do it for the wrong reason. But if you came to do nothing more than just to lift up and give Him the praise and the glory for what He is and what He's done in your life, you're in the right place to do that tonight. You ought to just be obedient. We'll gather around and fellowship as they gather another song, and we'll go to the Lord in prayer.
What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arms. What a blessedness, what a peace is mine, leaning on the everlasting arms. Leaning, leaning, safe and secure from all alarms. Leaning, leaning, I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. Oh, how sweet to walk in this pilgrim way, leaning on the everlasting arms.
understanding that these children need Christ in their hearts. You know, and I'm gonna try every way in the world to bring all my babies here, you know, get them in church, try to get my sons in church. I've had them there before, but they're like me, we play it backslid.
Now, God, you take care of that tonight. Somebody else, put anything on your heart tonight, so we go to the Lord in prayer.
Well, thank the Lord tonight. Great grandson had his surgery and he's doing great. My son had his surgery and he's doing good. I want to thank the Lord and praise him tonight for that. We need to remember the lost. I got others sick in my family. We need to keep praying about it.
Amen. We appreciate this time as well, please. Somebody else, anything on your heart tonight?
I'm thankful for the peace that the Lord sends when you have trouble, when you get scared. There's nobody like you. I could call you. You do what you could, but you don't have the peace that I need. I could call Wayne. Wayne can come and help me if it's something here. He can do. So Wayne don't have the peace that I need.
That's right.
I'm thankful for the peace that God gives when we have trouble that nobody else can help us with. He can help us.
Thank you. I appreciate this time. What a wonderful Lord. Oftentimes we'll stay here if we ain't careful, we'll take that for granted.
Right.
Best friend you ever had. I'm thankful for that tonight. I appreciate everything that's been said tonight so far. I do remember Bible school coming up. It's been real heavy on my heart the past couple of days. It's good work. Do remember those that are taking part in it, teaching in it, each and everything that'll go on. I'm telling you, I'm looking for the Lord to move in a mighty way. But beyond that, He can do that before then. He can do it tonight. He can do it Sunday night. He can do it Sunday morning. We ain't careful, we'll put limitations on the Lord. But I'm looking for Him to do big things. So do remember that tonight. Also remember Donovan and them as they're on vacation. Lord, watch over them, guide them, lead them, let them have a good time. Do remember all those others that are out traveling, some of those that just can't be with us tonight, shut in and can't get out. Thankful the Lord can go right down to exactly where they're at. He ain't just confined to here. He can be with you at home, He can be with you at the job, He can be with you riding down the road. That's the kind of Lord I got tonight. So do remember all those. Anybody else request anything on your heart tonight?
We praying for a service coming up Sunday for baptized. You know, I don't know people that may come to see that. You know, I don't know their life, how they stand with the Lord. But that's a precious thing to see, especially for a little one. And it would be all right with me if I had come out here every week feeling that. Yeah. You know, I'd take my time. Now, whatever I'm doing, come out here and feel that if it was necessary. You know, the Lord could keep us busy if people would just heed the call.
Mm-hmm.
Keep us busy filling that up. So let's pray for that. Coming up Sunday. I'm thankful to be in His house tonight. I'm glad I'm saved. I'm glad I know that peace Carl talked about. Yeah. There's no peace like that peace.
It's true.
It's just good to be in His house. Love Him this evening.
Amen. Appreciate this. Somebody else, anything on your heart? All those with an unspoken request tonight, let's gather around the altar and Lord in prayer.
Most kind and loving Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for that good Lord, for that right standing to come on our brothers and sisters. God, we all come in by ourselves. Lord, but you were just thank you tonight, Heavenly Father. Thy saving grace, Heavenly Father, Lord, for all that's done, coming under the Calvary tonight. We, Heavenly Father, have so great a salvation, Heavenly Father.
song, testimony, anything on anybody's heart tonight. Pray for them tonight.
While here on this earth, we've moved all around, from city to city, up hills and down, o'er rough roads and highways, cross mountains so high. But soon I'll be leaving for my home in the sky. I'm changing houses, I'm moving from here. I've got a new one that's free from all care, one without heartache. Will never grow old. Bought by the Savior with blood pure as gold. My new home is grand with splendor untold. No mortgage is due, it's all been paid for. You see my contract was signed and sealed long ago. Because of his love, we'll move nevermore. I'm ready to move. My bags are all packed, and soon I'll be leaving, and I won't look back. Yes, I made my preparations when I called on his name, and he said, you are chosen, and you won't move again. I'm changing houses, I'm moving from here. I've got a new one, it's free from all care, one without heartache, will never grow old. It's bought by the Savior with blood pure as gold. Yes, it's bought by my Savior with blood pure as gold.
Since it's Wednesday night, we're gonna get Miles to play his banjo a little bit for us. Hey. stranger now, crying, pull into the Lord, crying, pull into the Lord. Lord, if I could, I surely would stand on that rock where Moses stood. Sinners run and hide your face. Sinners run and hide your face. Oh, run to the rocks and hide your face. The rocks cried out, no hiding place. Crying, pull into the Lord. Crying, pull into the Lord. Lord, if I could, I surely would stand on that rock where Moses stood. Crying, pull into the Lord. Crying, pull into the Lord. Lord, if I could, I surely would stand on that rock where Moses stood.
Certainly do appreciate this tonight. Someone else, song, testimony, anything on your heart tonight? If not, I got just a couple of verses tonight. We'll be reading the 18th chapter of Psalms. I desire your prayers for just a little bit tonight. To be honest, I sat there and it seems like I've thrown a fit with this past couple of days. I sat there at work this morning, he began just to come by and he began just to pile it all together. I want to say tonight, I'm thankful that he saved my soul. And I want to say tonight, I'm thankful for what he saved me from. You sit there and say, well, preacher, tonight, what else has he done that? He saved me from an awful, awful place called hell.
That's right.
But beyond that, I was on a road that wasn't a whole good road to be on tonight, Wayne. And I began to think about where I am now versus where I could have been. And I can look back and truly realize what the goodness of God has been in my life and what he's brought me from. I could have been a good drunk. I could have been a good drug addict. I could have been a lot of things. But I'm thankful one night when he came by and he just said, you just be mine. And he set me on a path. And I'm heading towards home. You sit there and say, preacher, I know why I get you excited. I'm thankful for what I can feel.
Yeah.
I'm thankful. I mean, I've thrown the fit. We come here, we just sing, talk all around it. And I mean, it just plumb feels good.
Yeah.
Preacher, I don't know. I ain't really got that. Well, I'll be all right. You just sit there. I'll be excited. But I want you to understand something tonight. I mean, I've sat there all day and I've just thought about how good he's been and what I could have been. But for preacher, you're acting like you're something. I ain't nothing, Wayne. But he's made me an heir and a joint heir. I mean, I've got somewhere I'm going one of these days. That, I mean, I just can't help but get excited about what he brought me from. Preacher, let me just slow down. I'm getting way ahead of myself. I'm telling you, it just feels good. You ought to be able to shout and be thankful that you got something beyond this. This ain't nothing on this side. Yeah, we'll see things that look pretty, Wayne. Lord bless us. We got to go down, sit there at the beach and see the ocean. I mean, it's beautiful. But I got something that the half ain't even been told about. And yet I can tell you it's the most beautiful place I'll ever go. Preacher, what's that mean to you tonight? I got something beyond this. I might not lay this flesh down on this side, but what's down on the inside, it's going to make it. Preacher, what's that get you excited about? We might read, we might not, but I want you to understand, I've made my preparations. Heaven will be my home. I ain't got no doubt in where my soul will be. I ain't worried about hell. I'm going to make it tonight. You ought to be able to be excited. 18th chapter of Psalms tonight, starting at the first verse. It says, I will love thee, O Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer. My God, my strength, in whom I will trust, my buckler and the horn of my salvation, and my high tower. I will call upon the Lord, who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. The sorrows of hell compassed me about, and the snares of death prevented me. In my distress I called upon the Lord, and cried unto my God, and he heard my voice out of his temple, and my cry came before him, even into his ears. And that's all I feel like reading tonight. I want to read that 6th verse one more time, that first part. It says, in my distress I called upon the Lord, and cried unto my God, and he heard my voice. Now, I want you to understand something tonight. I'm just going to try to take my time. I'm telling you, I just feel plumb good tonight. But I want you to understand, if I could give you a thought, I'm thankful that he saved me, Wayne. I'm thankful that when I was down there one night, lost and on my way to hell, he showed me this a couple weeks ago. I mean, this has just been burning, and it ain't let me get it off. And he said tonight I could, so I'm just going to take my time. But I'm thankful that night, Wayne, I realized I was in the biggest storm I had ever faced. Preacher, what are you talking about? I was lost and on my way to hell. You remember the first storm you were ever in? Well, preacher, I got down there, my car broke down. It ain't that. That night you was lost and on your way to hell. That was the biggest moment and the biggest decision you had to start making. That was the biggest storm you've ever faced so far, that you had to accept whether you would make hell your home or heaven your home. You had to make a choice. But I'm thankful that night when I got down there and didn't know what I was going to do, I could begin to cry out, Wayne, and he began to hear the cries of a lost sinner that didn't deserve what he had done or who he was. But beyond my cry ringing in his ears, he saw fit enough to come by and save my soul. I've faced many a storm since then. Bible never told you this is going to be the easiest thing you're ever going to walk in. Some of y'all face some really great storms. But I'm thankful, as I read to you, that scripture sums it up pretty well. He is everything to me and you. Well, preacher, I don't know about that. Bible declared to you he's the beginning, Wayne, and he's the end. The Alpha and the Omega. He was there in the very beginning, and when this thing wraps up, it'll be because the Father tells him to come back and to take the bride. He is the beginning and the end. Everything I have is through Jesus Christ tonight. For without him, I'd surely fail. But I'm thankful when I need a refuge, he's a refuge. When I need peace, he's peace. When I need help, he's help. When I need strength to just go on one more day, he's worth living for tonight. Wayne told you the absolute truth. We had to come down here and fill that thing up every Saturday. We ought to come down here and fill it up every Saturday. You want to know how we got to that? He told you the truth. You got to be living after the will of the Lord. You know what they're going to have to find? They're going to have to find that there is a refuge, that there's an escape to the condition that they're in, that when they're lost and on their way to hell, they know there's one that loves them enough that he laid down his life willingly to save their soul tonight. The same God that saved me is the same God that saved you, and it'll be the same God that'll have to save them. They won't get it no other way, but when we get excited about what we got and where we're going, and they can see there's a way, they'll have no choice but to come to Him tonight. You're living in a world tonight that wants to lead them every which other way. But aren't you thankful that there's one night in your life that He heard your cry? Some of you are with me, some of you ain't. Preacher, I get down and pray sometimes and He hears me. I got down and cried out that night. I didn't give Him some half-earnest prayer, Frank, hoping He'd save my soul. I went to crying to the only one who could help. And you know what? Let me back up. You know what He did before that? He began to come and knocking. It's showing me where I was at. Showing me that if I wasn't careful, I'd turn Him away and lift my eyes in hell. But He loved me enough that when I began to cry out, while He was sitting on the right hand of the Father up there in heaven, that He could come down and save something that didn't deserve a whole lot. But He wanted me to be His. He wanted to give me refuge and rescue me tonight. You've been rescued. You found a fortress in a high tower. Well, preacher, you just don't know what all's going on in my life. I know it ain't too big for God. I can tell you right here, if He's good enough to sit down there and be a refuge in a high tower for David, He's still good enough tonight for me and you. If He's good enough, Wayne, for Rahab to sit there and trust Him and to sit there and take them old spies and just believe that God would have mercy on her. If He was good enough for her, He's still good enough for me. I want you to understand something. If He's good enough for Paul to stop dead in his tracks blind and realize how good that he was, He's still good enough for me and you. Understand tonight, if He's good enough for all them to turn to the Lord, He's still good enough. He's still the same. He'll still help if you'll trust Him tonight. David, Rahab, all of them got the same heaven I'm promised, Wayne. If they'll make it, I'll make it. Sat down there, Wayne, in the bay the other night. We'd sit there down in Charleston. We rode a little ferry out there to Fort Sumter and sat there. And as we began to get back on the boat to ride back to the land, you look off in the distance, and there was nothing but dark clouds everywhere. I mean, it was just raining. I mean, you sat there on the water, and you can watch the water going from being a little choppy to a little choppier to a little choppier. And you could just look off in the distance, and you just known all them dark clouds was nothing but rain and storms. But I looked off over there in the corner, sitting over there, Frank. They had this little old tower out there on the lot, on the water, and all that was shining out from it, Wayne, was just a light. Sitting there so that the boats, if it got dark enough, they'd be able to see that they're starting to enter into the harbor. Preacher, you're crazy. I don't know where you're going with that. I mean, I sat there and I saw this plain as day. Them waters began to get a little rough, Wayne. You begin to feel that boat move a little bit more than it did before. There was one thing that it didn't matter how dark it got, that it didn't cover up. It didn't cover up the light. You sat out there and looked in the distance of it. And I began to think about that old song that Sandy and them will sing sometimes. about there being a lighthouse that stood on the hillside. And it began to go tell you that they didn't know where their ship would be. Lighthouse. Can I tell you something tonight? The lighthouse is Jesus. And the ship is me and you. And though it didn't seem like we would make it, Wayne, sitting over there on the hillside, as the old song says, there was a light that began to shine. Boy, have mercy. That began to shine out, that it might guide us exactly where we needed to be. Preacher, where are you getting at tonight? Somebody sitting in a storm, and you've took your eyes off the lighthouse, and you're more worried about how dark it is than worrying about the lighthouse. Can I tell you something tonight? You go read over there in the first chapter of John, Wayne, and it'll begin to tell you that He is the light. No matter where you're at, no matter what you're going through, listen to me tonight, saved or lost, wherever you're sitting at and you don't think you'll make it, the light has never changed. It'll never go dim. It'll never go out. But Jesus will still be the same today as He was yesterday and will be forevermore tonight. The only thing that changes is whether me and you are going to trust Him from day to day or not. Preacher, I just don't know I'll make it. Wayne, I sat there and thought that same thing all day. Thought, well, I just don't know if I'll even have strength, Lord, to go down there tonight. I began to go see, man, just so clearly, that little old light standing out there on the water. But I didn't just get to see it there, sitting down there in the bay. I got to see the first time I ever saw the light. Preacher, you're all over the place. You remember the first time that you had to truly trust and depend on Him? I've never found a time, Wayne, that He's never not been faithful. I've never found a time, Ronnie, that He's not done exactly what He said He'd do. I've never found a time, Wayne, where He'd turn a lost soul away. Preacher, how you know that? I got it. There was one that should have been turned away, and boy, have mercy, I want you to understand something. We'll sit here and we'll think we earned it and deserve it. I didn't deserve anything the Lord ever done. If I got what I deserved, I'd be on my way to hell. But by the grace of a wonderful Father, sitting out there bringing light to a lost and dying world, that we might have a way that we can show them and guide them, that they can come and get the same thing I got. Preacher, why are you getting so excited about it? I deserved hell, but I'll never know what the flames feel like. Let it get hot outside. It's nothing compared to what I escaped. Lost person, you leave here, you die tonight without Him, you'll split hell wide open. But I'm thankful there is an escape. Troubled soul, I'm thankful tonight there is a refuge that you can come to. Preacher, everything's good in my life. I'm thankful that He's still worthy to be praised, Wayne, for saving my soul. I'm thankful, Frank, that He's still worthy enough that we ought to come in and just thank Him that we set our feet off the side of the bed this morning and have one more opportunity. You know how good of a God you got? You can be sitting here and everything just seems so well tonight. And by tomorrow morning when you wake up, it could all change just like that. But yet He'll be with you when it's good and when it's bad. Friends come and go on this side, Wayne, and not all of them are reliable. But I felt one night that, he's been there when my wife couldn't be there. He's been there when the families turned their back on me, Carl. He's been there when it seemed like the whole world was just against me. And yet, Wayne, he comes by, and he still just goes reminding I'm still here. And I want you to understand something. I got it all under control. We live our lives wondering how we're going to fix one thing to the next. But if you could just lay it down to the builder and the author, he can write it in and make it all exactly what it needs. I never was good at puzzles. He's the only one I know, Wayne, that can take a heart that's broken and put it back together again. And it just be perfect. Well, preacher, I can sit there and we can get together and we can do this for him and we can do that for him. I can't save him, Wayne. But I know one who's done everything perfect that can. I can't fix everything you need. I can't sit there and give Carl peace when Carl needs peace. God can. I can't sit there when somebody's on their deathbed and just come by and give them just a little bit of comfort before they go. But God can. I can pray for anybody to come back to church, Wayne. But you know who's going to make them? Let me rephrase that. You know who will get them back? God. It won't be by something, well, I prayed for them. Well, good, God still did the work. Don't go building yourself up higher than we are. You know what I like about it? We're getting ready here in a few weeks to get some children, Wayne. This is the only time of the year that they might be in church outside of Christmas and outside of Easter. And you know what we're going to get to teach them about? We're going to get to teach them about that they can be rescued. Well, let's sit here and look on something here in a minute. I'm quickly coming to an end. How are we going to be in our place to tell them that they can be rescued if we can't be thankful we've been rescued? Tell Donovan not to have me back. It'll be all right. How are we going to tell them it's so good to be saved if we ain't glad that we're saved? Preacher, I come in and say it, I ain't talking about half-heartedly. I'm talking about, with the Spirit of God, being glad you're saved. Why are they going to want to escape anything if we ain't happy we escaped? But you know what I like about it, Wayne? I can flip this open and I can sit down there and I can begin to go reading about how I escaped one night. About how he came by, a 21-year-old boy who's lost and on his way to hell. And I can go to tell you that I know what it means that he is a rock. I can go and tell you about how good he's been, about how good he is, and in the Spirit, that he'll be a fortress, that he'll be a high tower, that he'll be your rescue. Preacher, where are you getting at? If you can't feel it, you ought to come feel it. You ought to be able to get down in your life and realize that you made it, that you're on your way home by the grace of God. Might have been a while since you felt Him. You come feel Him tonight. He's here. Preacher, I ain't as excited as you. You come get excited. Preacher, it's just been a while since I could truly raise my hand and say, I'm glad I'm saved. I got good news for you. You can come talk with Him, and you can get right back up and know how good it is to be saved. You know you can get to the spot in your life that you don't even remember you've been purged. I don't know where all this is coming from tonight. You can get so backslid you don't even realize what you were rescued from. Preacher, I ain't coming up there. I don't want them to know I'm like that. Can I tell you something? Preacher's been the same way. I ain't no better than you, and you ain't no better than me. We've all been in the same spot. But can I tell you, Wayne, we've lived down to a time where it's bad to come up here and get down at this bench and sit there and just say, Lord, forgive me. Because we'll be so worried about what everybody else thinks. Frank, that night I came and got saved, I didn't care who was there. I didn't care what they thought about me. I thought I'd been saved since I was an 8-year-old boy. I didn't care. All I knew something was wrong. You might be sitting here tonight and realize something's wrong. Preacher, this has been a while. I don't feel like I used to. I get worried, Wayne, when he ain't talking. But you want to know how I find a way to get back to him? I just sat down and began to cry out. And sitting on the right hand of the Father, he begins to go, hear my cry, and make intercession and plead on my behalf. That one more time he might just forgive something that's lost. And I mean, just as bad as I was, lost and wretched as I was, Wayne, I felt forgiveness. And I've had to ask for it since then, but not one time have I ever asked him to forgive me. And he said, I've been too bad. You think the prodigal son would have went running back home? If he sat there and he thought there's no hope, Wayne, he realized that's all he had to get to. You think they'd have sat down there in Egypt? And if they didn't truly think they couldn't be delivered out, they wouldn't just get up and go? Preacher, they doubted. Yeah, they did. But they realized that every time they doubt, God would come by and show them just how real that He is. And you know what they do? They go on. You might have sat down and quit tonight. It'd be a good night to start getting some things in order. We got Bible school coming up. We got a baptism coming up on Sunday. It'd be good to have 5 more go with them, Wayne. You've got the perfect opportunity to clean some things up. You know what it's going to take for us to reach the lost? Preacher, I want to see 5 saved. I want to see 500 saved in Bible school. Are you where you need to be for the Lord to use you? Well, you've been all over the place. You went from the good part, now you're on the whipping part. You need refuge tonight. You facing something you don't know how you're going to make it. You ought to just lean on God. Carl, come get you a song tonight. You're sitting here tonight and you need something from him, you ought to come get him. Well, preacher, if this one would have done it, that and have done it, this and have been here, hogwash. They could have been 500 saved, your best friend, all your friends' family, your family, Donovan could have been here. You still wouldn't have came if you came with that mindset. If you'll come trust in Him tonight, whatever you need, whatever you need, I promise, the Lord will hear you. I ain't cried one prayer, Wayne, that He ain't heard. I've asked for some things I didn't need, and they ain't came. Boy, everything I've ever needed, He has supplied every need. I've never had to beg for food. I've never went hungry. I've never sat here and had to worry about whether He could come by and take care of this. I've got scared sometimes. He'd just come by and remove all that fear just like that. Whatever stands in the way of you and God tonight, you know He can move it just like that. You're going to have to come. You're going to have to go to Him knowing that He'll take care of what you need tonight. Stand to your feet as they sing.
Do you know how it feels to know something's missing? To hear a still small voice you just keep dismissing. Do you know how it feels to be troubled inside and to think just for you on a cross someone died? Do you know how it feels when He knocks to surrender and have your sins washed away, never to be remembered, and know that it's real? Tell me, do you know how it feels, and how does it feel to know you're a child of the King? Your heavenly Father owns everything. How does it feel to know you are loved by the one who created the stars up above? And how does it feel to know you're alright when you lay your head on your pillow each night and know that it's real? Tell me, do you know how it feels? And do you know how it feels when your cold heart has melted and the tears started flowing? The moment you felt it, do you know how it feels to know you've been changed and it seems like the whole world has been rearranged? Do you know how it feels wherever you roam, you still get the feeling that you're not at home, knowing heaven is real? Tell me, do you know how that feels, and how does it feel to know you're a child of the King? Your heavenly Father owns everything. How does it feel to know you are loved by the one who created the stars up above? And how does it feel to know you're alright when you lay your head on your pillow each night and know that it's real? Tell me, do you know how it feels?
Do you appreciate this not wanting anybody, anything on your heart tonight? No, I do want to say this is a good place to be tonight. Thankful for what I can feel. Thankful that I know not that it'd be real easy to come in on Wednesday night. We seem low in number. But I'm thankful for each and everyone that's gathered out the way tonight. Beyond that, the Lord appreciates your effort. Appreciates you just gathering out His way, giving Him time, giving Him strength tonight. And I want you to understand something. It seemed real easy to sit there on Wednesday night. Sometimes it's real easy to leave Wayne and say, well, I could have just stayed at the house and sleep. But there ain't nothing like coming down here and just getting a little bit of food in the middle of the week. Just make it to Sunday until we can get back in here one more time. Thankful for everything tonight. Anything on anybody's heart tonight? If not, I think we got quite a few announcements. We'll be having a remember the baptism this Sunday morning, or this coming Sunday morning, during our morning service. It'll be the 29th. Do be much in prayer for that. It'd be telling you, just be awesome to come in Sunday morning and just have a few more to go with them. You can say, preacher, well, that'd be real short notice for them. I've seen the Lord do it before. So do be much in prayer for that. Be much in prayer for the lost most of all. Remember our Bible school coming up on July the 14th through the 18th, 6:30 to 8:30. Do be much in prayer for that. Remember all those taking part in that. Tonight, pray for the teachers, pray for the lessons. Most of all, I pray for the lost. It'd be a wonderful, wonderful time just to come in here and see someone get saved. We'll be having a Sunday night service on July the 6th with some special singers coming at 6 p.m. Be much in prayer for that, and we'll try real quick Sunday, to have a Bible school meeting after church. Just want to make sure everybody's good on where they're at, and we've got everything good for that. So we'll try to have that Sunday morning after church as well. Don't think, did I forget anything? Donna, I wasn't great with announcements.
We may practice the songs for just a minute after that meeting too, just
Okay.
short,
Do
Yeah.
you remember
so
this
they can get
now?
the music right and everything.
All right, we'll try to do that as well. Also, if you can, try to bring some chips or some cookies and some juice packs for Fellowship Hall. We tried to do that. We did that last year and the year before that, and it seems like it kind of worked out really well. So, if you can, bring those. All hearts and minds clear. Your liberty to Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Pray and bring somebody back with you.